Hi everybody, it's Matt Hawes of Comics Unlimited, located inside the Big E Superstore in Evansville, Indiana at 1540 Van Avenue, and also producer of the Happy Show, which I once did for public access television. I also upload it here on YouTube. Okay, so I'm making this video vlog to kind of go over some things. In the past, I've noticed people on one of the oldest videos on YouTube, put by Steve Chin, one of the co-founders of YouTube, and it was about his cats or whatever. I made a comment all those years ago on there, and for a few years now, to this day still, that video gets people who remark about the old comments. It's become a game, I guess, mostly with younger people, it seems, to find the oldest comments on YouTube and then comment on those comments, oldest videos on YouTube, and comments on the comments there from the oldest comments. Back when I started on YouTube, it wasn't even, I don't think, a full year old. So I've been on YouTube for nearly 20 years. As weird as that is for me to believe. I guess in a couple of years it will be 20 years. And I get remarks all the time from people asking, are you still alive? And this comment by you is older than me. Used to be older than their brothers or sisters. Now it's older than them. Because, like I said, what's funny to me is that practice of people commenting on the oldest comments is itself now becoming a dated thing in a sense, even though it still happens. I mean, it's been going on, I think, for definitely 3 or 4 years, maybe longer, but around that period of time when I first started noticing these coming up. So I think it's fascinating about that too. And I do want to make videos eventually that will go in depth about my history on YouTube, because there has been a lot of stuff that's changed, and I'm apparently one of the old guard that still puts up new content. I think because YouTube is so present, a lot of the people who used to put up vlogs back in the day with me, mostly it was vlogs or, some original content like I did for the Happy Show and such, before it was really the corporate thing and all that. A lot of those people are still around. I'm sure, the ones that have unfortunately passed away, and the ones that still are online, which most people are still online one form or another. They may be on social media sites, but a lot of people, because of YouTube still is such a present thing in people's lives who are on the internet. I think that a lot of those people still probably view it and stuff, but a lot of people close their accounts for whatever reasons and then create new accounts or what have you. So basically my point with bringing all that up is to say that my comments aren't the oldest on YouTube, but they may not even be the oldest existing on YouTube, but they certainly weren't the first put on there. I mean, it had been several thousands, if not millions, of comments before mine, I would think, certainly in the thousands. Because even though I did get in there within the first year of it, there was still a lot of people using it, and not to the volume it is now, because that was still back in the day when you could tell somebody you're on YouTube and they were thinking you were saying you're U2, like the band U2, which itself might be dated for some of you younger viewers, but nowadays, in fact, more people are, if you say talk about the band U2, they're more likely to get confused the other way and think you're talking about YouTube, because YouTube is a household name nowadays. It wasn't a household name when I started. And whenever a lot of these people who close their accounts, you don't see their comments, because YouTube, one thing I wish it did do, which it has never done apparently, is archive all these old comments. Now, when it first started, it may have been there wasn't enough server space, what have you. Nowadays, it seems limitless what they have, I guess, or what have you. But they didn't archive those old comments. So if you left the site, your comments, if you closed your account, or you got kicked off or whatever, once your account was gone, so was all your history of comments. And so, if somebody leaves comments on my videos, they left comments from 20 years, or almost 20 years ago, say 15, whatever. When they left comments 15 years ago, for instance, uh, their comments are gone. Though my comments, responding to their comments, remains, which is kind of interesting because you'll see my response to them, but you don't know the context because you don't see the original comment since they're gone. There's a lot that's changed, and I want to get into the history. In fact, I was going to make this video the beginning of my history with YouTube, but I decided to postpone it a little bit because I don't want to make this video too long. But I just want to address something recently that I noticed. Okay, so I've been making a lot of music that I write the songs for, the lyrics for, and in some cases I can even control, thanks to new features on these websites I use. I can now control the structure and the melody. You could always kind of, really, if you knew what you're doing, kind of control the structure a little bit, because there's a way you can write lyrics. It's all basically, I'm talking about sites like Uno and Suno and Udio. See, that's a funny way to combine them. Anyway, Suno and Udio, which are the AI generate sites. I know there's a lot of people who are up in arms about AI and such, but to my view, and I'm saying this as an artist, there are concerns. There's definitely concerns to be worried about. But I also think it's a tool. It's not going away, and we got to learn to work with it. And it's a tool that you can use. And for me, who I'm not musically inclined other than lyrically, I like to write songs and such. And I wasn't ever really thinking of my work as poems, though without music, that's, I guess, what you would have to look at it as. I always wanted it to be fully realized songs. I've been lucky through the years to have a couple of times, a couple of different people or whatever that helped me realize my music, more than a couple, but a few people who were able to help me realize my words into actual songs. But I can't always rely on people to do that for me and expect them to also do it for no cost or hardly any. So this AI gives me a chance to do that. And there's a whole reason I'm bringing up the whole thing about that. It kind of segues back into the YouTube stuff. But my point is, so now I've got that ability to create fully realized songs. And to me, it's like any lyricist who doesn't have the ability to create the songs themselves, you don't still have fully control, because you're not a musician yourself, on how the song will be sound and the structure and the vocals. You like, when I did rely on friends to help me with that, and they're very grateful that they did, but you're still not going to get exactly what's in your head. Well, I'm not going to get that with AI either at this point, but I'm not any really further. In fact, in some cases, I'm honestly a little closer to getting what I want, because I do use AI. Again, I'm very grateful for the friends who've helped me in the past. I would love to have somebody, just work with me and do that. But I'm not in a position right now where I can do all the other stuff I do in my life, and also have a retainer, some musician, to help me work out songs. So basically, this gives me that outlet for my expression, and that's what YouTube also is, outlet for my expression, only with the videos and such, and sharing that music through the videos. So the reason I bring that up, I can discuss that all another time and get more in depth about that, but I was only bringing that up because of that. Sure, I look up some videos, about AI and specifically about the music generators, and in the midst of that, I guess the algorithms that are on YouTube decided I wanted to find, other videos telling me how to do different things, like tutorials or such, and that's fine, it's, but then it started doing things about how to get more YouTube views and such, and tips on how to get more YouTube views. And I thought, okay, well, let me just check into this, because in the early days of YouTube, before algorithms were ever a thought with the site, and nobody who used the site even knew what the heck algorithm was, pretty much, unless you were a computer nerd. Before that, back in those days, in the olden days, you mostly just use tags to get people interested to find your video, and people, it was more of a community back then. It was less corporate. This was all, before Google took over, and so basically, I I was able to cultivate a good number of views, because really, honestly, one guy, he was a kid then, basically a teen, from Manchester in England. He kind of featured my video, and he already had gained a popular following of viewers, and he suggested my video channel, which helped promote, get me a boost. It did give me a boost of viewership, and of course, like even to this day, the more views you get, the more views begets views a lot of times. And so I built from there and had a pretty strengthened, pretty good amount of viewership on a regular basis. Not hundreds of thousands or nothing like that, but it would be in the, could be in the thousands, sometimes only in the hundreds. But for me, for a guy who was just making this for fun, and it was still globally, and so that was really cool. I got thousands of subscribers on my one channel, and then my other channel, I've almost always had two channels from nearly the beginning of YouTube, and the one is not quite a couple thousand, and it never has reached beyond a couple thousand. That one's over 3,000. Again, we're not talking like YouTube celebrity amounts there, but it still was decent exposure for me at the time. There was no such thing as monetizing your videos, so that wasn't even a consideration. Um, so my stuff was being seen, and we all wanted to try and get on what I called the YouTube lottery back then. Again, there's no monetization going on, so it wasn't to do with that, but people still wanted to get viewed. And so they used to have a homepage that was the same for everyone. And if you were on that homepage, if you got on that your thing featured, that was back when there was, I don't know how many people running YouTube, but it was not like a bunch of bots and everything. It was there was actual human beings who, I guess, reviewed videos, and they decided which videos they wanted to feature on the homepage. And the homepage, like I said back then, was universal. We didn't have personalized homepages in the very beginning. So what that meant, though, is because everybody saw the same homepage, if you were featured on that homepage, it was like winning the lottery in terms of getting viewership, because people could go from getting 10 people to watch your video to 100,000 and plus, just from being featured on that page, and you get the subscribers. And that's where a lot of early YouTube celebrities got their fame. I guess they're still around. Smosh, I've never followed them, but I've known about them from nearly the get-go, because they were one of the very, very first YouTube celebrities, and the ones that stuck around for a long time. Again, like I said, I think they're still around. Anyway, they, just like anybody, that's how they got their viewers in the beginning. And if you didn't get featured, you just have to grow it yourself, and hope that you can get good numbers. But it was like winning the lottery, like I said, to get on that homepage. Once the homepages became more personalized to each individual user, that took that kind of out of the equation. But that was already when Google had taken over, and a lot of other things had already started to change the way the site was ran. Less community based, more corporate and commercial based in a lot of ways. Unfortunately, a lot of people who were part of a community at the time gave up on YouTube. That's why a lot of them left, because they felt like it wasn't the place they liked anymore, and so they left it. Which, admittedly, you can have a community when the community leaves anyway. I don't think there was a reason to really leave, because then, as to now, knock on wood, it's still free to use YouTube. It's still free to upload the stuff. They got a pay version for watching things, but they don't charge us to upload our stuff, and they don't charge us to watch the vast amount of content on there. So I don't understand why these people abandoned it just for that reason, but regardless, they did. And anyway, so trying to get back on focus here. So there's basically a number of videos, like I said, that's talking about how to get YouTube views. And they're talking about how to work the algorithms, how to work your title, how to do this, how to do that. And it's interesting. I only watched a few of them. I only plan to watch a few of them, because really, they're kind of pointless after a while. Some of these people are only putting up the channel, honestly, to kind of, commercial reasons. Not only, of course, monetize and get views and such, but they're doing it to sell a product or whatever. yeah, like I'm seeing this guy get get a certain video. Basically, it's a thing he wants to sell, and it's a 30-day trial apparently, and then assuming it costs more to keep you paying to get tips for YouTube. Give me a break. It's just a scam with a lot of these people. I'm not trying to impugn them, but it is. It's a lot of this. They're making money off of you watching their videos, telling you how to make views. Well, anyway, it's just a scam. Mostly, there might be some people with legitimate terms, but the few I watched, I looked and realized, okay, so if you say this in the comments, I'll send you this link so you can get my free this, and then when you get on the free this, it's free if you join this, and then it leads to this where you pay for that, and you pay for this, you pay for that, and okay. So I realized what we were going with here, and I made a comment on one of these videos, without taking the task too much, but just explaining that I noticed one thing. There is a thing with YouTube now with the video thumbnails where you can test to see which thumbnail gets you the most views. And I decided to try this. I mean, just for fun anyway, just to see if it makes a difference. But one of these guys on one of these channels that tried to tell you how to get more views and so you can monetize and make your money. One of these guys, last night when I watched the video, he's saying, oh, definitely, you need to do this and it'll pump up. And oh my gosh, look at the difference. Look how many views I got when I did this video, as opposed to how many I did this, and blah, blah, blah. I just got, before I decided to make this vlog about this today, I just went ahead and watched another guy with a similar channel, similar view. I mean, they both have a lot of subscribers and everything, so supposedly they're both as legitimate, as informed and knowledgeable of these sort of things, right? But he's taking a total opposite stance and saying, oh no, that kills your views, that's, blah, blah. It's like they can't even make up their minds on that. And if they're both supposedly experts, which one's the one that's right? I know experts can have differences of opinion, but it just seems like they're throwing out whatever there, because I don't know that matters that much, period. I mean, obviously some thumbnails are going to attract more to people. And I actually tend to side with the guy I watched first, because obviously there's, if you're testing, there will be viewers that will watch, more of one than the other, or one more of the other. But this guy, he's also trying to say, I guess, that it kills your views, maybe because it's giving you two different thumbnails to pick from. I don't know. And I don't care. I figure, okay, I did the test on a few of my videos. I'll see how that works and looks, and then I'll leave it, because again, I've never monetized any of my videos. So, and I don't say I won't. I may, if seems to ever be a reason to do so. Right now, admittedly, I'm not at the levels that matters. But if I do, sure, why not get paid for something I enjoy? In fact, before I start repeating myself, because I was also going to read a comment I left for this one guy who has the channel, the how-to channel, basically, on YouTube videos. And what I'm telling you right now is some of what I said in the message. So let me just go ahead and address when I was talking about the thumbnail voting or whatever. I said, I explained to him that, the other guy and him contradict each other. And I said, while both of you have the same goal in mind, make sure I'm reading this right. Well, both have the same goal in mind. The two channels totally contradict each other. Okay. I mentioned about being on the platform nearly since the beginning, before algorithms. I'm trying to skip past, because I've said a lot of what I wrote here. I pretty much said in this comment. But I still use the site as a form of expression. If that gets me views in great numbers, awesome. And that's true. I love, you make any kind of videos, any kind of art and stuff, because you want an audience. But it's not the primary reason that you do art. If you're doing art, I'm not talking about instructional videos. He's doing a different thing. What I'm doing, I'm trying to do it expression. I'm trying to do videos for entertainment, my art drawing videos, which I've done in the past, my music videos. It's all tied to artwork and expression. His is a whole nother thing. His is about getting views, instructional videos about getting views so that he can get views, so that he can make money off of those views. I wouldn't mind making money off of my art, off of my videos and my work, but that's not what's the motivating factor, and certainly not the primary motivating factor. It is, I would say, not the motivating factor at all, because up to this point I haven't made a cent off of those videos. And we're talking since the beginning, in 2006, if you're wanting to know how long, since 2006, right? So, I said I will still use a platform to upload my content as long as it's free to do so. If I ever reach a sustained level of viewership where I can monetize my videos, then maybe I'll do that. I'll do so. And I mentioned about how it's great to get paid. I wanted to check. I said I still wanted to check out to see what kind of tips you guys would offer, and I noticed that you both are pushing courses and such. And I said, well, that's cool, but I'm just going with my own way of doing things, since following those suggestions just to get views smacks too much of the MySpace era of friending for friends, or even YouTube's earlier subbing for subs. I'll explain this here in a minute if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about. I wrote, I'm not after numbers for the sake of numbers. I want people to truly watch my content. If that means only one person out there is interested, at least I connected with one person who seemingly cares genuinely about it. And that's pretty much what I wrote on there. I didn't read it all verbatim because through the course of me introducing it, I frankly just told you pretty much everything else I had said in it anyway. But, so this MySpace thing, for those old enough to remember MySpace, which was an earlier form of basically what Facebook is in a sense, there's a lot of differences, but they're born out of the same social media thought. MySpace was kind of annoying because people would just want to friend you just to get friends on their thing. And this, I think, it's still going on Facebook. I only accept friendship from people I actually know in one capacity or another. Don't have to necessarily know them face to face or that personally, but I have to know of them to some degree. Otherwise, I don't accept the friend request. On MySpace back in the day, though, people were just accepting friends just to build up the number of friends. There was no monetary thing, as far as I can recall, back in MySpace to having friends. But people just wanted to have that high count. And it seemed kind of pointless because who cares? Well, a similar thing is with YouTube. And when I say who cares, what I mean is they're not legitimately your friends. They don't really care about you. They don't care about any aspect of what you're doing other than you add to their total of friend count. So what? Well, the subbing for subs was similar to that. People would say, if you sub to me, I'll sub back to you. And this is pre-monetization days. So there was no money. It was simply a numbers thing in terms of literally numbers, where they just wanted to see how high of subscriber count, because a lot of those people didn't actually watch other people's videos. They weren't subbing because they cared about the other person's videos. They were subbing just so somebody would sub to them. And that was fruitless, really. I mean, so what? I guess if there had been a monetization thing, it makes sense. Like now, it makes more sense than it did back then, because you're trying to get at least the viewerships or the sub count. You don't even get the viewership, honestly, because again, they were subbing, but they're not really watching. And most of those people, whenever that was going on. And in this day and age, sure, if people will fall for that still, you'll get a higher sub count, which can get you a chance to monetize your video if you can get the viewerships the match or go up as well. But again, when they're not really interested in your channel, it's really fruitless. And if you, even with the monetization, if you get the amount of subscribers up, it might get you closer to monetizing your videos. But if you still ain't got the views, what does it matter? You're still not going to make money if you're going after it for that reason. But that's what this other deal reminds me of, in a sense. And what I was meaning by that is, They're talking about making videos for just the sake of making videos to make money. Fine. You can make videos for a reason you want. If you make money off of them, God bless you. But if you're just doing it just to make money, it seems kind of hollow and a hollow pursuit. And then you get to keep up. You keep up on these stupid little things like they keep worrying about the algorithms and all this because they're just chasing that dollar. I ain't got time for that. It seems like it could be a fruitless endeavor. Some people it pays off, literally pays off, like this guy. But he's trying to convince it's one of those get rich quick schemes. He's trying to tell everybody else, like, if you follow these steps, you can make it like me. And really, he's making money off of people who aren't. He's already figured his little niche. If you want to copycat him and try to do what he's doing, but if you're making other kinds of videos on what he's doing and you're trying to listen to his tips are nonsense. His tips, he's only making videos off of people who, he's only making money off of people who watch his videos to see how they can make money off of their videos. But if you're not, like I said, if you're not doing exactly the same way he is, then you're probably not going to make the amount of views and stuff that he is. You know, if you're doing about a cat video, his tips may not matter squat in the long run. Anyway, I'm rambling now. So, I'm going to go ahead and end this video, and the next time I make a video that's a vlog, I will probably go ahead and start discussing the early days of YouTube. Nothing else, just to kind of give a record. I made videos similar to this through the years on either of my channels, where I mention here and there, but I think I might go a little bit more in depth about those days, and just put that out. Just for anybody who's curious, who's watched YouTube since that time, that era, and some who weren't even born, as weird as that seems to me, but there's plenty of you out there weren't even born when YouTube began, so you have no idea how different it was in a lot of ways. For somebody where the site has always existed, which is mind-blowing to me that it's always been a part of your life. And I'm not sure how many people talk about those early days and how different it is to them from then to now. So anyway, that's what I'll do in the future. And anyway, happy holidays. This is recorded at December 17th, so we're nearly at the big day for Christmas. And whatever seasonal holiday you follow, happy holidays. And I'll talk to you next time. Yay!